Hello, Scorpio. I'm going to start doing a new segment where every other week I'm going to do love readings, and every other week, the corresponding every other week, so I'm going to do general readings. I'm going to do the first half for relationships, people in relationships. The second half is going to be for single people. All right, so I've already shuffled the cards for relationship. Let's see what we got here. Alright, you're standing strong. Overall? So, what do we have here? You're making moves. You got the Ace of Rods in your position for where you're currently standing. Now, I'm seeing the Ace of Rods in your position where you're currently standing. You're making decisions. You're taking action. There's definitely things here you're taking action on. You also have the Queen of Rods. Even though it's a love reading, don't get caught up in the gender of the card. It's just denoting the energy. It's very emotionally stable and driven. It's very going through love, going through the feeling of the moment. Very dignified, but very motivated. The emotion of the situation is motivating it through. It's very good. So this is where this is kind of what's pushing things through. You've got a lot of fire going on your side. Even though you're a water sign, you got a lot of fire pulling you through. A lot of ambition. Alright, so I'm just being sure before we go too far here. Alright, so what I'm seeing on the other side, what's matching your Queen of Rods is the Queen of Swords. The other person's communicating very frankly. Now these two, this is wind and fire. Wind and fire can work together very well. In a communication, like you're moving forward, and the other person's talking and being very honest and blunt. I do feel there's a lot of energy here about social interaction. The other person has got a lot going on their side, and there's a lot of people involved with them. This is what's creating you to decide what you want to do next. This makes me wonder exactly. It's a general read, even though it's a love read. I don't want to say that, I don't know, I'm feeling like there's more than one person on this other side with them. I kind of feel like, actually in this situation, it might be like a gang up effect. Like you feel like there's a lot of people that are not seeing it the way you're seeing it, and it's really kind of aggravating. You might feel like you're on your own in this situation, but you're still not willing to back down, and just because you can find other people who agree with the way you think doesn't mean I'm going to just secede and be like, okay, then that's fine, because it's not fine. Something isn't right here. Although, now you're taking this action. I'm not getting a lot of bad cards. I'm getting like something's holding back a situation. And things can get better here. Certain things, like you're trying to move something in a certain direction and the other side is not on the same page as you. You're making things happen and they're just trying to verbally stop you. I feel like, or they're verbally like checking you, or there's pushback verbally. I feel like your strength is very intimidating to them right now, and they're feeling like they can't stop you from doing what you want to do. There's things that they wanted to happen instead, but when you're taking action the way you are, they feel like they're losing what they want to do. I don't feel like that's completely the truth. I feel like you might be even going at this in a sense of like it's more of a diplomatic, like I want half, you want half, like we're going to do some things I want and some things you want. But they're not seeing it that way. And I'm seeing, even though they have people backing them, I feel like these are other people who want to do the same thing they want to do, but you're still not like, no, that's not right. Now, am I saying that? Okay, yeah, okay. So we're staying in the reading. Okay, keep going. I don't feel like you're in agreement with this. And this is holding back the situation where they feel like you taking over or you moving the situation in a direction that also benefits you as well as them is kind of like it's not what they totally want. And they may have friends or relatives who are like trying to push it to go their way too, but it still doesn't make it okay. It still doesn't make it the right thing. Now, even though they're seeing it that way, this is in the position of what's holding back. On your side, I feel like you got two things going on your side that are holding things back too, that might be holding you back. You're feeling like, you're seeing everything going on around you, but you're having a hard time really changing things, even though you're making things move. You're feeling like it's causing problems or it's just not changing the situation, the base of the situation. You may be moving this part of it in a certain direction, but you feel like this is just a certain part of the relationship that is always causing problems. And you're kind of like wondering if it's just time to cut the rose, but I don't feel like that's really what you're going to do. But I feel like you might be like contemplating like, this just always happens, and I'm just kind of like, why is this, like, what am I just going to accept that this is constantly going to happen? Now this is what's holding it back, because you feel like you might just like, I feel like you're having a minute where you're like, you know what, maybe this is just done. I don't feel like that's where this is going though. What we got going on in the future, what helps the situation, I feel like you get your fair share of what, like, I feel like there's a balance that's met here. And I feel like all of a sudden, like, somehow there's a balance. Like, they get more, you somehow find a way to give them more of what they want, but you also get more of what you want at the same time. Instead of, like, I feel like it was getting divided, like, we'll do half of what you want and half of what I want. I feel like there's more of a, like, you each kind of get 75% of what you want, but 25% of that overlaps. You, like, find a way to, like, mesh some things together. I'm not sure how you do that, to tell you the truth, because it seems like 75 and 75 would be 150%, and that's more than the situation. But I feel like 25%, like, it's like you find a way to meld some things together. You're like somehow, almost like you want to your partner wants to hang out with certain people, and you want to have a romantic dinner. So you kind of work out like a group date thing, like that type of thing. I feel like you're finding a way, and this is like a quick change. This is like a last minute, like, you know what, let's do it this way. And I feel like the other side, your partner, loves it. Again, don't get caught up in gender, like whatever your partner is. This is reading for Scorpio, so. But they love it. They're right on. Like this quick change, I feel like you're very good with spontaneity, and this works in your favor. It's a very very fair way to work this out. I feel like it worked. I feel like you're happy with it and they're happy with it, but it's a quick, like, last minute, like, you know what? You want to hang out with your friends? I want to have a romantic dinner. Let's do a group date. And you're wherever it is, you're happy with that, like a group date thing. Like, I don't know, couples, like 3 or 4 couple, I don't know, something like that, group date. No, definitely there's other ways to work things out, but that's like the analogy of how this is working forward. I feel like you win. Like, that quick change, like I've noticed Scorpios I know, they can change on a dime and they can go in a great direction. Like that spontaneity can be such a beautiful thing, very powerful, and I feel like you win because of that. Like, but they feel like they win too. Like I feel like the other side is like the emperor, like they feel like they won. Like, oh, I got what I wanted, but you're like, I got what I wanted, thank you. It's kind of funny because I feel like you're like, sure, you got what you wanted. I got what I wanted, actually, but it was a fair, like, and you're very well aware, like it was like a compromise that worked out very well. So I feel like both sides feel very happy with how it worked out. Okay. I'm also getting that the other side is very much into you, very much dedicated to you. So if this reading is hitting for you, the other person is very dedicated, very much on point with you for the long haul. The 7 of Pentacles, coins, pentacles, whatever you want to call them in this situation. I feel like this is saying they're invested and they're expecting this relationship to have many returns for years to come. So I don't feel like they're going anywhere anyway, which makes me feel like this momentary thing holding it back where you're like, maybe I should just cut this rose and move on. I don't feel like that was really actually a possibility. I just feel like you were really fed up and you might have said something in that sense, but they're not seeing it that way. I do like how this works out because I feel like this also puts you in this perspective where it gives you more hope for like, I feel like the way this situation worked out, it may not be the first time you've done this, but it's like for the season, for this year especially, all of a sudden you're brainstorming about all these ways you can have a lot more fun, and like the more you can incorporate more things together, the more fun you can have, the more fun they can have, the more ambitious, and the more the more it's gonna work out the way you want it to. I feel like this is very beneficial. You like the last time this worked out, like this situation, I feel like this worked out in a very good way, and you're very happy with it, very thankful that it did work out the way it did. And this is giving you more ambition or ideas for this. I feel like it's mostly this season, like going through summer, out through fall. If you're in the southern hemisphere, winter going through spring, I'm thinking. Yeah. Because I know I have people on both sides of the planet here. So thank you very much, by the way. So I just want to make sure I honor that. Either way, for this next season coming up and the one moving into the next one, this is giving you a lot of brainstorming ideas. This is working out for you. Okay, so anything else? I feel like the overall energy, just so you know, is it's the Judgment, and you have the five of swords, not the swords, rods. And I only laugh because I feel like you fight for it, but you win. There's a little bit of disagreement, but you win, and it works out. Like the Judgment is in the favor of your relationship. Like you both win. I feel like you both win, which doesn't always happen. Which you're probably more than well aware of that. But I feel like this works out very well. Okay. All right. So that is, this happened with the other two readings I did too. I didn't have oracle cards pop out, but let's see how it goes for the singles. And I don't, like I've said with the other two, unless the need comes to pull them out, I just don't pull out cards just to pull out cards. It's just how I read. If a situation calls for it, I pull them. If it doesn't seem like there's a pull for it, I don't force it. So, although I feel like it's working, I think because that especially was working out. A lot of times if I see difficult cards, I try to get a little extra insight, a little extra light into the reading just to make it feel a little better. All right, so let's Scorpio, single Scorpios. Scorpios, single Scorpios. What do we got for you? We got action. We got love. Okay. I like what we're seeing here. This is single Scorpio. Yes, a lot of opportunities going on here. Where does this go? Here? Okay. I'm not really feeling the need to pull out an oracle card yet, but we'll see if we do. Oh, by the way, I know this is late. Morgan Greger Tarot for the Tarot Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue for the Oracle cards. Granted, I'm expecting I'm going to use them at some point. Sorry that was so late. So, overall energy, Ace of Cups. How many aces do you have here? Just two? Just two. So, and they're in the overall energy, and the last card is the Ace of Swords. So what this is telling me, I feel like you're feeling your oats. Let's put it that way. I don't know if that's coming off right. I don't even know if that's how that saying actually works. You're wanting love. You're looking for it. The King of Rods, I feel like that's you. No matter what gender you are, that's you. Like, I know what I want. I'm going to go find it. I almost feel like some of you are going to try to hit up an old flame. And I am getting this. Some of you are going to try to hit up an old flame. I also feel like that's going to be a disaster, aka I don't feel like that's going to go your way. I feel like that's going to be. I don't feel like that's really going to turn out like you think it's going to turn out. I would skip it. I'm just saying. I would skip it because I'm noticing with this card, which I usually don't notice. There's a lot of dark clouds at the top of this card. You might not like the reaction you get. I would skip hitting up an old flame. You're completely your decision. Especially when going forward, you got the Three of Cups plus the Six of Cups. Like, I feel like there's a lot of social activity for you. A lot of options. I kind of feel like you're kind of the focus of a lot of attention. You're putting out there what you want, and you're going and talking to people, and I feel like there's a lot of social situations going on for you, and you have a lot of things. You can do what you want. I also feel like other people are like, well, this is one, isn't it? Someone is like watching from the outside, and they're trying to see like, are you interested in just like for now, or are you looking for someone to be with? I feel like you're kind of more, what are you looking for? I feel like you're kind of like open to possibilities. I kind of feel like relationship is preferred, but not in the sense of like that's what you have to have. Is that true? Not for all of you. Okay, so where are we going with this? More relationship oriented, but it may come across in a casual manner. How does that mean? You may want to believe you're not really that strict about it, but you kind of are. So you may go about it like, oh, I'm just seeing what happens for now, but I feel like you're more looking honestly for somebody to like add to your life. Okay, so you're more into like, who's going to match me? And I feel like this person, they could be a flash in, flash out. They could be. You might want to keep your eye open and pay attention to them a little closely. If you know them or have heard about them from anybody else, like, you might want to look a little deeper, see if they're a flash in, flash out type person, one night type thing going on there. Maybe one going out for one date, having a good time, and then ending it one way or another, but probably moving on. I feel like this might be a one-hit wonder. Could be moving in and moving out real quick. Could be. But with the Page of the Rods against your Ace of Cups, I don't feel like they have this grand impact anyway. I am getting that for some of you, you're going to decide that it's quick in, quick out. Like, maybe one date and you're like, no, and move on. Because I'm seeing in your mental state you're moving on from something. And I feel like it's connected mostly to the environment. I feel like there's this person, like, and keep in mind, this is just who you're attracted to. Don't get caught up in the gender of the card. But whoever it is that comes towards you, I feel like you move on from them. Now, it's either because they're quick in, quick out, or you go on one date and you're just kind of like, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work for me. And you kind of move on for whatever reason. I don't feel like it... You also have the Devil card. Not the Devil card. Why did I say that? All right, so it's not bad. If you're single and this is hitting for you, the World card, I feel like you're standing in a spot where you're kind of like... I'm getting some of you might have just moved on from a relationship. Or might have just moved into this arena where you've decided you want to look again. And you might be just like, you know what, I'm kind of more about the fun right now. So it's funny because I do feel like you prefer to have somebody in your life, but you might be like, you know what, maybe I'll just have more fun than not right now. Maybe I'll just make this a fun thing. And it's not like I don't feel like you're critical, but you might be just like kind of playing the devil's advocate. Like, you know what, there's more options. I don't want to just stop here now. I want to keep going. Which the Ace of Swords makes me feel like you're going into the future feeling the same way. Like, I'm going to have fun this season. I'm going to have fun this year. And I'm going to keep things going the way I want them to. And I'm just not ready to commit to anybody or even, like, start seriously dating anybody right now. So I'm not going to. Which is interesting because I feel like the overall energy is, like, you'd kind of like that. But whoever this person is, like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like either way you decide they're really not for you. Even if they flash in, flash out on their own. If they try to stay, you're still going to be like, I don't think so. I'm just not into this, and I don't want to get into that right now. And you continue on. The Ace of Swords, I feel like that's in your court. You're like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this season, and I'm just not going to do this right now. And I feel like that's kind of the energy going out of this. Like, you like possibilities to be open. you're not against anything. And if the right one shows up, okay, but this one, I feel like this one just wasn't the right one for you. And that's how you're viewing it. So whether they're the ones who flash in and out, even if they try to stay, I feel like you're going to move on. They try to stay or not, you're fine with it because you're going to move on. Because you're like, you know what, I'm going to keep my options open for now, but thank you. Okay. Excuse me. Anything else here? I didn't get any romance angel cards out for this one either. I apologize for that. I mean, like I said though, I don't force them out. And usually I would shuffle them, but I'm like, I'm feeling like I should just keep it to the cards for this one. So I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments how this affected you, because I feel like this is what it needs to be for now. So either this is hitting or it's not. And I feel like whatever needs to go forward, you're going to see. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I'll get this up as soon as possible. I'm going to do this every other week thing with love and every other week thing with the general readings. So this week's love, next week will be general, the week after that will be love, general, love. Every Friday is what I'm shooting for. So let me know. Okay, of course, if you want a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.